Hey guys, so this video lesson is going over volume. Please make sure you have the notes open so you can complete them with me. So let's talk a little bit about what volume represents. In a shape, we were so used to finding area, which is our outside measurements, right? If I have a present, it's how much wrapping paper I would need to use to wrap that gift. Volume is how much I can fit inside of a shape. So if you think about that present, say it's a box, how much can I fit inside that box is what we're talking about with volume. So the formula for volume is going to be our V equals, so volume equals length, which is L, times our width, W, times our height. So we're taking all three of our numbers, length, width, and height, multiplying them, and we get our volume. All right, so here we have two different shapes. Let's look at the left side first. So they don't give us any numbers. We have to actually use those little cubes to count. So let's talk about our length first. Our length is this long side right there. And you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our length would be 6. Our width is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our height, last but not least, is 2. So again, all I did there was count those boxes to figure out my different measurements. Once I have those, now I can plug it into our formula. Remember, volume equals length times width times height. So we're taking all three of our numbers, putting volume equals length, 6, times width, 4, times height, which is 2. You can still use a calculator for this, but 6 times 4 is 24, times 2 is 48. Now, one other difference between volume and area is the units that we put on our final answer. So in this one, they don't give us any units, so remember we just use that word, units, and then for volume, instead of putting a little 2 like we do with area, this volume is actually cubed. So we put a little 3 in the corner. And that's it. 48 units cubed would be the volume of that prism. Let's take a look at the second one. We don't have to do any counting. They give us our length, width, and height. So all we have to do is plug it into our formula. Volume equals length, which was 8, times width, which is 2, times height, which is 3. When we do this, plug it into our calculator. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. So we get 48, and this time they did give us units of centimeters. And then don't forget our little cubed in the corner. All right, let's take a look at a few more here. Same idea, we're still using our formula. Volume equals length times width times height. If you take a look at the figure on the left, we have some fractions, which is fine. We still treat it the same exact way. So plug in volume equals our length, 3/4, times our width, 1/4, times our height, which is 3. A couple ways you can do this. One, you do have a calculator, so you could convert those fractions into decimals if you would like. So you would plug in 0.75 times 0.25 times 3, or we know how to work with fractions. You can just multiply them and keep it in fraction form. So I'm going to do that and change 3 into 3/1. And remember, when you're multiplying fractions, all you have to do is multiply numerators, multiply denominators. So when I do that, just looking at my numerators first, we have 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 3 is 9, so my numerator would be 9. And then on the bottom, multiply your denominators. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 1 is still just 16. So my volume is 9/16 inches cubed. Again, you could have put that in decimal form, and it gives you a longer decimal. I think it's like 0.5625, something like that. That's totally fine as well. All right, let's look at the right. They give us our measurements, so all we have to do is plug them in. Volume equals our length, 4, times our width, 3, times our height, 5. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60. So our volume of this prism is 60 centimeters cubed. All right, the rest of these slides are your practice. Please continue on. Make sure you're showing your work, typing in your calculator, and don't forget your units on your answer. Good luck.